Okay, I think we'll make a start. So a very good afternoon to everybody joining the webinar today or listening to the recording subsequently. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. We're going to be doing this month's VCC Live webinar on continuing the contact center theme and KPIs and metrics. So those business insights, that's the topic for today. This presentation is from a kind of general industry specific perspective, not from a vendor specific perspective. So let's kick it off and let's introduce ourselves. So I'm your host, Gavin Stewart. I'm a channel sales manager here at VCC Live, and I've been in this industry from the vendor perspective. I worked for vendors for the past 25 years. So on-premise vendors in this industry, and in recent years in the cloud space. So joining me today, we have Elemér.
Yes, hello everybody, and I'm very happy again being here. As I always say, if you know an Elemér, it's probably me. So I hope that you all know me. If not, then let's reach out and let's connect via LinkedIn. We will share the contacts later on. So today we are going to talk about KPIs, but before that, so I'm a solution consultant at VCC Live. I optimize KPIs, I optimize contact centers. I'm at the vendor side for more than 10 years, and I spent also 10 years in contact centers, mainly in outsourced one. So I met many projects, KPIs, outbound, inbound activities. So that's what my life is about. So let's see what we are going to talk about today.
Okay, by way of an agenda, let's just cover these points just to give you a feeling for what we'll be talking about today. So what are KPIs? What are the industry benchmarks, the best practices? So we'll be talking about that. We'll be relying on some of Elemér's experience in the industry and doing some data analysis and looking at how you can improve your KPIs, looking at some vertical specific KPIs, and also give you some food to thought so that you can compare yourself to your peers or maybe even your competitors out there. So we'll give you some data to help you in that comparison for yourself. So that's our kind of agenda for today. Let's get rolling.
Yeah, and first of all, we need to know that what this KPI stands for. So for us, basically, sometimes it's knockout pizza index, and why it's good because whenever you organize team lunches or team events, and when this KPI is high, then it means a good morale of the team. So that's really cool. Also for IT guys, I meet a lot, and for them KPI sometimes means kernel programming interface. Which is a good thing actually. But today we are going to talk about key performance indicators. So this numbers that we try to increase always, these numbers that will give us a feedback about the success of our organization. So let's check, Gavin, what we have for today.
Right, well, let's start by looking at a selection of commonly used KPIs. Now, many of you may be familiar with these KPIs, key performance indicators, but there may be some of you that want a refresher or not so familiar with them. So we have created a web page, and that web page you can see linked at the bottom, and that provides you with details on each of these. So let's just drill down, for example, onto average talk time and see what, if you click on that, what happens. Well, it takes you to another page, and on that page, it's giving you the definition of what it is, the formula for that, the elements that make it up in the formula, how you can improve it, what are good values for the average talk time in certain verticals, and the ways in which you may want to modify them, improve them. So a lot of great information there. If you're looking for a refresher on any of those more common KPIs, please check out the links there. This is industry standard type information, so it'll give you a good grounding into these commonly used KPIs in the contact center space. Now here we have Dr. Evil saying 1 billion KPIs. Well, he's exaggerating perhaps a bit, but you get the message. There's an awful lot of KPIs. and you need to choose which ones are right for you. So that's a challenge in itself, to pick the right KPIs and not too many of them. And they might tend to creep up in number. We'll come to that later on. So some of those KPIs will be commonly used KPIs, perhaps. Some of them may be vertical specific type metrics that you want to track. And Elemér is going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But you need to measure what matters to you, and don't measure things that are not relevant. Other factor to keep in mind is you may have multiple audiences for these KPIs. So your management board may be looking for a certain set of KPIs, and your agents on the contact center floor, they're looking for maybe different KPIs. So keep that in mind. So that's what we're going to be addressing here.
Yes, thank you very much, Gavin. And actually, you mentioned already one thing that is important whenever you set up KPIs. And I know that all the supervisors who are here, or managers, we are in that. So we set up KPIs, and the vertical, so the business segment that you work on, it defines that what you should consider. So for example, retail contact center, they might prioritize customer satisfaction, or FCR, which is for first call resolution. We will talk about it a bit later. And also, if, for example, we pick healthcare, then for them, a higher value is on call quality, and also the compliance with the regulatory standard. What is also important is benchmarking against industry peers. This week, I participated in a contact center conference, and it was really interesting to see that those companies that were in the same segments, it was live. They compared these KPIs with the industry standards, and also they checked how to measure up to their peers and competitors in the industry. So it was interesting to see. Always there is a way for improvement. That's the new AI for me. So areas of improvement. It helps you to identify and prioritize these parts where you can improve. For example, if call abandonment is high, then it means that probably you should worth exploring workforce management and also technology improvement, because maybe you can, have something new that you implement. We are in the area of AI as well. So when, and not only real agents, but agent assistance is there, and you can also use voice bots. So the technology helps you again to improve your KPIs. Gavin already mentioned average handling time. When it's high, then that's an opportunity to streamline the processes and enhance agent training. And lastly, adopting industry best practices. That's again important. So when, for example, there is a new process, or there are new processes and tools that you implement, then KPI can be a good objective measure that measures your effectiveness. So it's not only, it's not enough just to set up KPIs, but also measure the improvement. And whenever you have some changes, then you should get back to those who created that. So show these values also to those ones that made it available, who are basically, many cases, the agents. And today I'm going to talk about three main verticals where I will show you three free KPIs. This is debt collection, inbound sales, which is really interesting, and customer service that I spent half of my life in. So let's see what I have for you today about debt collection. I came with three KPIs. One of them is the promise to pay PTP rate, and I also gave you a value that I checked, and these are real results these days. PTP is, this is a KPI that measures for you the part that how many customers commit to make a payment back. So this is one of the things that you can always improve. And let's see later on how. I brought also for you an average handling time that we already had checked before. It's this under 2 minutes time. Average handling time is the average duration of a single customer interaction from the start to the finish. And also I brought for you a reached customers per total attempt. This is maybe interestingly low here. This is what I picked for you. It's from really debt collection. So when you try to reach as many customers as possible and compared to the total attempt, maybe it's low, but then later on when you can collect the promises, or if you have a technology to even make it to a successful telephony payment, then that's something to measure as well.
Elemér,
Yes.
what's the most in the collections vertical?
Mm-hmm.
What's the most?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking promise to pay must be the most important KPI,
Yeah.
unless you're actually making collections.
Uh-huh.
Then that would be the most important KPI.
Uh-huh.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's actually in the top 3, let's call it this way. So there is another that you can measure, and this is important, is the collection rate. So the conversion from the total amount of outstanding payment and what percent you can collect from that. That's really super important. Promise is a good thing. If you have a technology to even close the deal during the call, with the mentioned telephony payment, then it's not only a promise, so that's even better. And that actually can, that's one thing that can already increase your correction rate. But let's see that how you can increase the listed free elements. In that collection, it's a mass activity. I mean, it's a mass dialing. You initiate as many calls as possible to keep your agent in possibly call status. And what you need for that? You need a dialer, an efficient dialer. You need the channels, so you need the infrastructure behind. So this is important. What other tips can help is you should segment and prioritize your database, so reach all those customers that have a better chance to reach. You can also use automated reminders. So not only using, one channel, but at the same send a message via text, via email, or send out outbound robocalls. And this will all improve in the end your promise to pay rate. Average handling time, how you can improve that? Well, that's really part of it is about the things that we discussed in a previous webinar when we talked about scripts. So this is one thing when you have a good script that can help the agents. Also, optimizing the dialing windows. What I mean that, when you can reach more customers, then obviously this will help the agents, but also skill-based routing can help, and some part of the AI can decrease this time. And you can automate also wrap-up time handling, which means that you can give an assigned time for the agents, and after a certain time, you manage to decrease it with a pop-up for a notification. So these parts can also help. And for the agents, when they have integration and one interface for all customer interactions, that's again important. So when your agents have one-stop shop, they don't have to, press the Alt tab and check something else in another system. They have everything in one interface. That really helps the case. And the last KPI from the debt collection I brought you today is the reached customers per total attempt. Well, time by time it happens that when you use the same big database, then you need to think about checking it, that which customers you just couldn't reach for a long time. What's the reason behind? Maybe you can outsource it to a robocall. And with this, those calls that you want to connect to agents, this part you need to clean a bit. So check previous results and compare them, and this will help you as well. And also, if you have the technology for voicemail detection, that's again a good thing where you can really reach the real customers. So maybe you see on dashboards that your agents are in call status, but it turns out that they are talking to a machine. So that's again something how you can improve this KPI.
Thanks, Elemér. So now it's time for a bit of interaction, just to break up our session today. Then we'd like you to give us a reaction to this question. Would you rather add or remove KPIs to your current list? And if you could hit the add with the thumbs up or the light bulb for remove. So that would be good if we could get some reaction from different people just to see what your feeling is. And I'm just thought did strike me that maybe the tendency is for KPIs always to increase over time and rarely reduce. But let's get your feedback on this question. So I'll just give it just a few more moments, see what reaction we get. And okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. And we give some feedback, so it's good to see. And the next topic is about, as industry is inbound sales. And just give me some, so 1 minute just about a real story that happened with me. It was in Portugal, in Lisbon, 5-6 years ago, when I was in a contact center. They mainly handled inbound sales and which way. So it was a TV commercial that they had, and then they sold products in the contact center. And whenever I saw that there was a commercial on the TV, then wow! So the contact center lines burned, and the agents were in 100% in call status, and also the result of their calls were close to 100% sales. And when it was over, then they tried to call back some of the customers that they just couldn't answer because there are not available agents for that in this mass volume. And then it was silence for a while. But then again, this happened on the TV spots. Then again, it was much lively and really crowded. And let's see that what KPIs they measured there and how they managed to improve it. Let's see. Conversion rate. That total amount of sales calls that arrived. Well, it was so tons of calls they had, and obviously they tried to convert them to sales, which was quite good amount. But still, there were many calls that they could not turn it to sales. So at the time, their conversion rate was this close to 55%, which is not bad. It can be better. We will see how to make it better. Also, I brought you another KPI that you will see later on our dashboards as well, is sales per agent per hour. So this is in telesales industry and also in telemarketing, but also in this TV shop industry, it was there. And the result that I collected for you, it was this a bit higher than 2 success per hour. And the third one is call abandonment rate. Well, having thousands of calls in a day, call abandonment rate, I brought you, it was 13.5%. That was a really good result. So especially knowing that what enormous volume of calls appear in the contact center, it was quite a good result.
Elemér, the thought struck me that it's very much dependent upon what you're selling here, like sales per agent per hour.
Yes.
If you're selling luxury cars, 2.07 Ferraris per hour would be, maybe be very good. But if you're selling some lower cost widget, then it might be a very different number.
Yes, that's exactly true. So the example that I brought, it was mainly a premium product, not Ferrari, but it was about great watches. But also I met other the projects when it was like a subscription in renewal, when you can even reach 20 an hour, because if you have a good offer and you can have the same customer who is actually happy with your service, then you can have many sales per agent per hour. Let's see how you can improve these results. So first of all, conversion rate. If again, we talked about before that if you have good scripts that you can check in our previous webinars how to put them together, you can have static pages where the agents can turn whenever they have a question. That helps your agents, and also the system behind. So whenever you have so many calls, then there's a system that needs to answer those calls, even just in an IVR at the beginning. I worked in a contact center where we had ISDN 30 channels, and we had 3 trunks like that. We had we managed to serve this way 90 calls at the same time, which was at the time a good result 20 years ago. But whenever there was a big boom of calls and we received 100 calls, then immediately we lost 10 chances at that time. So these days, today, when you have cloud technology and vendors in the cloud, then you can have hundreds of channels available, and even thousands if you need. So that's not anymore a real issue, but this way you can improve it. Conversion rate, also you can organize workshop for your agents. You can check call recordings and then find a way how to improve it. You can manage it actually with quality supervisors, and also you can outsource it to AI. So if you have the technology to transcript those calls and then have a summary of that, then again you can check more calls and then more conversions you can reach via that. Let's check the sales per agent. That's another interesting story. I just heard actually on my on this week's conference that I participated in, and it was mainly about motivation, and also just mentioning incentive is obviously also something that you should think about, because when agents are happy with the results because they receive a bonus, then obviously at the end from your partner you will receive more revenue. But what I heard this week, it was a big contact center, and they compared obviously the agents that you can also put on a dashboard or a big screen to see that who is the best agent. But they also used a big figure. It was a shark, and whenever you enter the contact center, it was a quite enormous shark, and then immediately you knew that who is the best seller, who has the more best sales calls per hour, because it was quite visible for you. And that's actually motivated also the team. Another example that I met in Spain, in Barcelona, it was whenever a big premium product was sold, then in the background there was a bell that was ringing, and the agents, even though they were talking still on another call, but they had good noise detection. Then they just stood up and clapped their hands. And again, this improved the whole team's efficiency. And the third one is how you can improve call abandonment rate. Again, you need the system, you need an IVR, you can optimize your IVR. Sometimes you don't need more agents. You can also automate some processes. So for example, you can offer a callback for the customer. You can also use so-called virtual queues and then call back the customer when the queue position would come to finally answer that call. And obviously, you can also think about self-service options and use further channels to improve this KPI. So avoid the thing that you have call abandonment. That's one of the message. All right, and we just arrived to the customer service KPI. I have 3 more KPIs for you today. I hope you are still with me, and we can continue from there. What KPIs I brought you for today? One of them is the service level. That usually turns to a service level agreement when you are, for example, an outsourced partner, like I was before. But it can also an internal agreement that you just specify a figure that, well, at least that percent of the calls you need to answer. And what I brought you for today is uh, an example from an inbound contact center that serves 2.5, 3,000 calls a day. And currently, in October, they have this 87% service level, which is quite a good result. And the second KPI is even better. The first contact resolution rate is 76. You know, the first contact resolution is when you can resolve the issues on the first interaction, and it's essential for the customer satisfaction and also for the operational efficiency. And the third one is CSAT, or also NPS. It reflects for you the customer satisfaction and loyalty, and it's really a vital indicator of overall service quality. The example I brought you today is 49, close to 50. That's an NPS result, which is really, really good. Obviously, can be improved, but let's check how we can further improve these values. Okay, so service level. If you have real-time monitoring, if you have alerts, then it's a good thing. So again, you need a system that is capable of handling that. You can also use queue prioritization. So there are always chances to improve results. If one of your queue has some issues, then you can automatically optimize the queue setup. Obviously, this needs a parameter which can be then handled manual, or the better, you can also automate it. So set it whenever some queues are below the SLA, then automatically prioritize it. The second one is the first call resolution. Well, that's something that where we need to talk about training, knowledge base, again script. The knowledge base should be again available for the agent at the same interface, and also for regarding the knowledge base, this is something where again we can think about a little bit of spice of AI. This week, again, on this conference, I talked about supervisor AI, agent assistance. So that's what you should also think about to have new technologies in your contact center, and then implement those ones that really make it more efficient. And regarding the first call resolution, that's really something that you can improve with AI. And the last one is a CSAT or NPS. That's what you can increase when you analyze the call results. You can automate some processes. Obviously, from the call results, you can organize trainings. You can organize trainings with your quality supervisors, or with the supervisor AI that summarizes you all the transcripts and gives you those hints that you should really focus on. And one interesting part here is that I recently met, and I really like that, if you have a technology for that, to also provide this feedback instantly to your agents. So whenever you get the feedback, and you have a lot from your customers, and hopefully it's positive, and then immediately when you can transfer that feedback to the agent who worked on that case, that's again something that will improve the next call, and then improve the overall results of your contact center. So this is something you should also focus on when you want to increase CSAT or NPS.
Okay, so we've got all this data, and maybe on some occasions you're going to export it and manipulate it in Excel. That's because that's what you want to do. But another thing that you're going to want to do is to display it on a more consumable method, a dashboard. So here's an example of a dashboard. This should be something that is easy to recognize the important bits of information. It should be customizable by you as a customer. It shouldn't be, overly complicated. And do bear in mind, it's going to be different. It's going to be very different for your audience. If you're showing it to one group of people, the agents versus the management, it might be a very different dashboard. And in this day and age, you're going to want to make these dashboards available on different devices. If supervisors are out and about, or management is out and about, they might want to see the KPIs visible from their mobile device or from their tablet. So there are a few factors here to be thought about in dashboards, but certainly it should be easily customizable by you. Use colors, thresholds, indications as to what it means for your business, make it very relevant for your own business. You can see in this particular example, there's payments there and it's increasing over time. So they're measuring a currency, a value of currency. So that's just one particular example. So dashboards an important aspect, and the use of BI is another one, Elemér.
Yes, and so whenever you have the system to push data to other systems that can summarize it and then show the trends and also compare the agents and for example in this example the sales, that's really important. You can also put it on the wall and show it to the agents. That again enhances motivation, and it also shows you those KPIs that we just talked about. So if you check the last column, sales per hour, that's really important. And this is how you can compare the agents. You can exactly pick that maybe who is the one who needs a training. And again, that Gavin mentioned, it's really important. So these data that you have, you need to be able to reach it. And whenever you have something that you can open in a URL on any platform, that again helps you to not hide those results, but share it with those ones who work on that, and also the management can use it for further purposes.
Another factor to consider are custom KPIs. So in the course of this presentation, we've looked at commonly used KPIs in the industry. Don't forget there's a webpage there to help you with that if you need a refresher on any of those. And Elemér has talked about a variety of vertical or business industry specific KPIs. For example, for collections, in the collections vertical, there are certain vertical specific KPIs. But you, in all likelihood, you may well need to modify them. Might be slightly, very much for the business you're in, the industry you're in, or the audience you're trying to serve with those metrics. So the ability to create custom KPIs, keep in mind that could be as simple as taking something that's a value and perhaps turning it into a percentage. That might be quite trivial to do, but maybe it's the right thing for your business. But it could be to create an altogether different KPI, combining together multiple standard ones and then dividing it by something else, whatever it might be, to create something that is meaningful for your business, to talk the language of your business, because that's how you're perhaps justifying the contact center upgrade or whatever it might be. So these are truly important, should be thought through, and your solution should allow you to create these custom KPIs and really meet your own needs. So we're approaching the final slides here. This is the final stretch, and we're about 35 minutes in. So final thoughts from me. KPIs, I view them as the kind of the measuring stick for the contact center. Might be a bit dramatic, but we live and die by the KPIs and the measurements that are made in the contact center. Lots of things are measured. Make sure you pick the right ones and make sure it's meaningful for your business and your business audience. Elemér, what would you like to pick out here?
Yeah, I would like to highlight one thing because it's really close to me. So I'm a solution consultant. I work on these KPIs and yeah, I just looked at this slide and yeah, it's a final thought. I myself, I always have ongoing thoughts because I always try to optimize further once we reach one stage. So always listen to those ones who can help you. That's important. And whenever you set the KPIs, and not just because we need to have KPIs, the reason should be that we want to really improve and be the best in the industry. Then it's always important to really go back with the results to those ones who work on them. So share it with them, have the success together, and obviously there will be always things to have improvements. So there will be areas, but it's really important to celebrate these successes together and then set up further things for the future regarding KPIs.
Excellent, Elemér. So thank you very much, everybody, for your time and attention today. We'd be delighted to speak to you if you have any questions. You can see the contact details and the LinkedIn QR codes there. Whatever way is most suitable for you, please do reach out to us. Let's have a discussion with Elemér or myself. And I'll give the final word to you, Elemér.
Yes, thank you very much. So please reach out to us via LinkedIn. This is kind of my second home. So just get in touch and let's continue the discussion there. We'll be for your service and happy to see you here. And I hope we will see you again on our next webinar. Goodbye.